This is a biodiversity case study on the Amur leopard, a critically endangered mammal due to expensive habitat loss and conflict with animals. The Amur leopard is known as a solitary animal and is able to run at speeds of 37 miles per hour. This unbelievable animal has been testified to jump more than 19 feet horizontally and up to 7 feet vertically. They live for over 10 to 15 years, and when in captivity, they reach up to 20 years. The Amur leopard is very adaptable when it comes to ecosystems. They can live in mountains or grasslands as long as their food and water necessities are sufficient. The Amur leopard's niche in the wild is for them to keep population control on their prey. Its prey include animals such as impala deers, wild boars, hares, badgers, raccoon dogs, and more. The Amur leopard is the only Panthera pardus subspecies that is adapted to a cold, snowy climate. Many people usually think of leopards in the savannas of Africa or in the East Russian far. However, the Amur leopard is found on temperate forest habitat, which experience a wide range of variability in temperature and precipitation. These animals are able to adapt to almost any habitat if only they are provided with sufficient food and cover. The distribution of the Amur leopard has been reduced immensely to a fraction of its original range. So as we can see in this map, the pink areas show the historical range and the red areas show the current range of the Amur leopard. The species range in Russia was dramatically reduced during the 17th, losing about 80% of its former range. Today, the Amur leopard inhabits about 5,000 kilometers squared. The last remaining viable wild population, estimated at 57 individuals, which were found in a small area in the Russian province of Primorsky Krai. Their sexual maturity typically occurs between 2 and 3 years. In the wild, for Amur leopards, their breeding season normally happens in January and February, and their gestation period is 90 to 105 days. Therefore, due to the small number of reproducing Amur leopards in the wild, their gene pool has reduced incredibly, setting the whole population at risk from inbreeding depression. The main threats for the Amur leopard are the following. Between 1970 and 1983, it is estimated that the Amur leopard has lost an astonishing 80% of its former territory. The main causes for this loss are the indiscriminate logging, forest fires, and land conservation for farming. However, all is not lost. Now, large tracts of forest, which serve as ideal leopard habitat, still exist. If these areas are protected from all of these dangers, such as logging, rampant forest fires, and poaching of wildlife, then the chance exists for the population of Amur leopards to increase in the wild. The prey base in this forest is insufficient to sustain populations of leopards. In order for these to recover, the use of the forest by local population is regulated and the measures are taken to limit the poaching of ungulates. For the Amur leopard to survive and come out of the critically endangered category for the long term, it needs to repopulate its former range. So, for this to happen, prey populations must recover first. The Amur leopard is poached for its beautiful spotted fur. An undercover investigation in 1999 recovered a female and a male Amur leopard skin, which were sold for $500 and $1,000 individually, in the village of Barabash. Many agriculture and villages surround these forests where the Amur leopard lives. Therefore, the forests are very accessible for them, making the poaching a bigger problem, not just for the leopards, but also for important prey species, such as the raw deer, impala deer, and hare, which are other targets by the villager for both food and monetary purposes. Amur leopards are mainly vulnerable because of the preference for deer, which is a natural predatory preference in the Russian Far East due to direct human involvement. Farmers in the Russian Far East raise and take care for deers for their consumption and to produce antlers for the Asian medicine market. Therefore, due to lack of wild prey, leopards often venture into the deer farms in search for food. The owners and people of these farms ask for the protection of their investments. They quickly eliminate leopards who attack their stock. This is why a leopard's most immediate threats comes from such preventive killing. Loss of genetic diversity in the small and isolated Amur leopard population may cause interbreeding depression. Father-daughter and siblings matings have been observed, and it is possible that this may lead to genetic problems, including reduced fertility. Two really big organizations are giving extremely support to the Amur leopards: Worldwide Fund for Nature and Altus Corporation. These have the same aim of saving the Amur leopard. Both programs include different and similar proposals into their solutions and help for these beautiful animals. Having such a small population left, the loss of each Amur leopard puts the species at the greater risk of extinction. Both corporations support the anti-poaching work in all Amur leopard habitats, such as in the Russian Far East and in known leopard localities in northern China. They implement programs to stop the illegal trade by helping governments enforce domestic and international trade restrictions on Amur leopard products. They monitor Amur leopard populations and its habitat. They use camera traps, which have often produced amazing results, allowing the world to catch a glimpse of the world's rarest wildcat. Also, they work to increase the population of leopard prey like raw deer, impala deer, and wild boar, including releasing deers into new reserves in China to provide the armor to rebuild prey populations. They are working on increasing areas of protected land in both Russia and China by reducing illegal and unsustainable logging practices and facilitating trade between companies and businesses. In 2007, Worldwide Fund for Nature and Altus corporations were successful on promoting the Russian government to reroute a planned oil pipeline that will have endangered the leopard's habitat. Something special and different that the Alta Corporation is doing is focusing on the areas of education and media projects. They have created an immense number of educational projects and have resulted successful in increasing awareness among local villagers. Their goal is to reduce the poaching and human-induced fires. It is essential and incredibly important to educate these local people since they will be the primary participants in any harmful acts toward the Amur leopard or its habitat.